to Kahlan and his devotion to her. It's not just the same devotion he was giving to Darken Rahl. It's hers.
In a weird way, the words felt more meaningful. Not just because of switching Kahlan's name, but everything that is part of that. Teach me, guide me, protect me. Everything that, like, yeah, okay, the king does that, or the Lord Rahl does that, and he's over there. But this is more personal because it's me and you. You're standing right here. I mean, they're not together, but in that kind of a sense. And to him, that's way more meaningful and powerful. Well,
and in there, he also says that he lives his life to love her.
Right.
Instead of, like, what is it? Live my life to serve you, which is what you say to Darken in the devotion or whatever. And as he says it, it sparks realization in his brain. And he knows what he has to do. All of a sudden, everything falls into place, and he realizes, like, bam! Epiphany time. Zedd told me a long time ago that people are stupid and they believe either what they want to or what they are afraid to believe. So everything becomes clear to him, and he knows what he's going to do, and he gets up, and he's done. He's not going to devote any more time to this devotion.
Yeah. So as he stands up to leave, two Mord Sith block his way. They say, hey, everybody gives the devotion, no exceptions.
One of these Mord Sith, she's blonde, she's got blue eyes, and you might want to remember her. That's all.
Are you saying that she's going to come up again, Jade?
Maybe.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. Everyone might die in the next chapter.
Could be. Could be all over. Could be that Terry chose to pick out the features of one specific person just before the end of the world without actually describing who they were.
Right.
As a cliffhanger to absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, gotcha.
But maybe take note.
Crystal clear. As mud.
But after Richard looks them in the eye and picks up Denna's Aegil and is like, yo, I'm the Seeker. I was her mate. I fucking killed her. Get out my way.
And they listen.
They looked at each other and like, you know what? I don't feel like dying. So, yeah, all right. You can go.
For you to stare down a Mord Sith and say, fuck around and find out, you either have to be completely insane or you mean it.
I feel like when they looked at each other, they went, I haven't seen Denna in a couple days. Have you?
Right. Well,
she hasn't been at dinner. Let's let him go.
Was he holding it in his hand or was he holding it by the chain?
It was on a chain around his neck, so I think he picked it up, like, off his chest.
But he's holding it in his hand.
Yeah.
So he's showing them, I'm holding the Aegil.
Yeah.
Just like you. I can take the pain.
Yeah. Plus, this was her thing. So, like, I took it from her.
See, I think if he would have held it up on the chain, not actually touching it, that would have been way less of a threat.
Yeah.
But that he's holding it in his hand, like, yeah, I can take this. I know you're taking this right now.
Right.
We're on the same level.
Yeah, and he had been given that Aegil. I'm sure they've heard about what happened with the Seeker at this point, too.
It's been a week.
Yeah, but that shit doesn't happen, like, to your coworker without you finding out.
Right. Right. Oh, he's not in today, huh? I wonder where he's at.
Also, he murdered Constance on the way out.
I had that happen.
Oh, yeah.
I actually had...
You went to work and found out somebody was murdered.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit. No, you're absolutely right. You don't go a week without hearing that. Yeah. You hear right away.
And like I said, too, he left Constance in, like, a pile in the middle of the the hallway. So...
Yeah, it was at work that it happened, too. Then.
Yeah.
This didn't happen at work, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would, yeah. Like that movie Waiting. Are you kidding me right now? People with the day off already know.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised that they were like, all right, you can go.
Go ahead.
You don't have to do the devotion anymore. That's fine.
Well, right. And Denna was kind of top dog there.
Yeah.
So if he killed the best one, then a lower Mord Sith isn't going to get in his way.
Yeah. Once they figure out who he is. They're like, okay.
You're the guy. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. That's
Never mind. We were just kidding.
We just all chill out, sit down, have a beer.
Does that mean it's time?
It is time. I'm thirsty. How about you?
I'm like so thirsty.
All right. Well, this week we are not actually drinking beer.
It's a booze break, not a beer break.
Right. This week, Jade and I each have a cocktail made with Coppercraft Distillery's straight bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
I have been drinking a lot of beer lately. That's all bourbon barrel aged. And so I got curious about bourbon. And I decided I wanted to buy some and try some and see what I thought. But I wanted to do it locally, just like the beer we buy. So I found a distillery in our local area, bourbon whiskey. I figured it was a good place to start. On the bottle, it says it's a tribute to the American craftsman, building upon West Michigan's legacy at high-quality makers and manufacturers. We bring together grain and oak to craft the finest spirits. It's 97 proof. There's a lot of heat to it. We both have it mixed right now.
Yeah.
To make it a little less intense.
Coppercraft is in Holland?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Holland, Michigan.
This was 2018's gold-rated Spirit of the Year?
Right.
So, it's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah. And I think we might be doing more of these booze breaks, too.
Yeah, we might start sprinkling them in here and there, so if we buy a bottle, we can stretch them out for a few different beer breaks.
Yeah.
Let you guys know what kind of different cocktails we make.
Yeah, we have been trying a couple different types of booze lately. I know it was Cinco de Mayo just recently, and Jade and I got into a bottle of tequila that we enjoyed very, very much. So I wouldn't mind sharing that with all you guys, too. Anyways, we're going to go get a refresher, and we'll be back right after this.
And we're back. And now we are with Zedd and Kahlan and Chase. We have switched characters. They are approaching the People's Palace, and Kahlan is still being, like, super uncomfortable to hang out with. She's just walking in front of them, not talking, confess her face. I am going somewhere. Talk about whatever you want behind me.
Well, they're not traveling together.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
No, Kahlan is going. They're just following her.
Yeah.
So they're allowed into the People's Palace as well.
Yeah, just like Richard. They were just like, all right, well, good to see you.
Can you imagine that there would have been a conversation like, okay, Kahlan, coming up here, we're going to have to stop for the guards. We might have to fight them, kill them. I don't know, which I'm sure Kahlan would be happy to do.
Yeah.
But I doubt she answered them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure Chase... Well, I think actually right here, Chase is uneasy because he expected a fight. So there probably was, at the very least, internal monologue in Chase being like, all right, we're going to get up there. I'm going to fuck some people up.
Right. And I mean, Zedd, in his wisdom, explains, well, Darken Rahl has to let us get to him so there can be this final showdown. So it doesn't make any sense for him to kill us now.
Yeah.
Which is a horrifying thought.
Yeah. Chase is like, oh, that's what we're dealing with. Cool. Glad we talked about this at all.
Yeah. You didn't say shit the whole way here, and you're just now dropping this on me?
Well, and Zedd goes, okay, you, again, can go home. You have a wife, you have kids. There's no lost honor if you turn around and go home now. I feel like if Chase were to go home to his wife at this point and just be like, brought him to the door.
Yeah, well, I mean, I dropped him off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened inside. Richard may have died. I'm not really sure.
Ugh.
I feel like his wife would be like, who are you? What?
But then Zedd waits for Chase to be like, exactly that. No, I'm coming with you. I've come this far. Duh. I'm going to see this through to the end. And Zedd waits until he gives that confirmation to go further and explain, yeah, of course the guards aren't going to stop us because, you can't sneak up on a wizard anyways. He's expecting us.
Right. And Chase actually does turn to one of the guards and is like, you just going to let anybody come in here to attack Darken Rahl? And they're like, oh, well, she was, like, expected. So I don't know why you're being weird.
Yeah.
Weird man with all the weapons.
He's calling him out for doing it. You just going to let me walk in here? I'm going to go kill your boss. I'm going to do it. All right.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you in a little bit. I'm way back out, I guess, after the murder.
But apparently, Chase had no idea that Rahl was a wizard. He's like, what? What? You didn't tell me we're dealing with a wizard? And Zedd is like, yeah, duh. Magic? Like, did you not catch the magic?
All of the magic, the whole book. Yeah, I mean, he's from Dahara as well, not Westland. So anybody from over there, like, you should half expect them to have magic.
It is a little bit strange that somebody like Chase, who comes from the Midlands, wouldn't know that Darken is a wizard. But maybe it's just that not everybody who wields magic in some way is a wizard. So he wasn't expecting him to be quite such a badass.
Right. And I mean, I also feel like the word wizard is strong. There might be magic. There might be people, like, we know who, like, deal magic trinkets on the street that aren't really real magic. And there's other people who, you know, they can do a little bit of magic or a certain type of magic, but not really anything else. Like the artist in Tamarang. He can do that one thing. Hey, well, maybe he has some other talents, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so, but you wouldn't call him a wizard. A wizard implies a mastery of magic, or at least to me. So, and I mean, we know that there's a scale. First wizard, second wizard, third, and so on and so forth. So he hasn't been identified as a full-on wizard yet. He's just been fucking with magic. So I could see maybe why it was a little bit of a shock, but I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise.
I feel like they had a little bit of time to where they could have touched on this stuff before we're walking into the fray.
Right. And I mean, plenty of silent walking time, I'm assuming. Just following Kahlan.
Yeah, Kahlan wasn't talking to you. You might as well have talked to... There's like a weird, ill-placed history lesson about the House of Rahl right here, too, about how they were all wizards. Darken has been a descendant of them. There was a war of the wizards.
Right. They have one here, too, just like with Richard and Scarlet. They had that weird extra little thing in there that didn't quite line up. But I think that's just trying to get some extra details in there to round out the story.
It's just to let you know that wizards used to rule. Most of them were beaten. Rahl's family decided to keep doing it. There we are.
Yeah.
Now we have some shit to go do. Everybody that they're passing as they go through the People's Palace is basically ignoring them. There's all these people dressed in white, the disciples of Rahl. They don't matter.
Yeah, all those delightfully deluded people, was it? Something like that? I thought it was really clever.
They do see two Mord Sith, I'm guessing not the same ones we saw earlier, who basically run the opposite direction when they see Kahlan's face with the lightning bolts on it.
Wouldn't it be great if it was the two from earlier, though? They go down the hall again because Kahlan freaks them right out. Yeah. They go, nope, I'm not dealing with that. And they turn the hall and they're walking, and then to themselves, they say something like, we got to go kick somebody's ass and get the hold on this because we're bad at our jobs right now.
Also, do you feel like there's some shit going on today? I feel like there's some shit going on. Besides, I think just a sight of two Mord Sith running the opposite direction would probably be cool to hold in your brain.
Cool and or terrifying, because if the Mord Sith are running, I would run. Ask questions about what we're running from later. If they're freaked out, then something is really bad.
Yeah. Eventually, Kahlan turns to Zedd and is like, which fucking way do we go, bud? And Zedd immediately points her in the right direction, and Chase is a little confused because he's like, I thought that you didn't know where we were, really? Like, this isn't your place, right?
Not like a weird red flag. Oh, yeah, I used to live here. What? No, nothing like that.
Yeah. And Zedd fills him in and tells him there's two reasons I know where I'm going. This building was built on a spell form, and I recognize it. So I can kind of direct us towards the center of it. And at the center of the spell form, like, generally, there's always a garden center. So that's where they're headed. And